Welcome to What's Cooking with Rochelle, and today we are making corn dogs. I have one package of hot dogs here and some hot dog sticks. You can order these on Amazon. You might be able to find them in the grocery store or maybe like a specialty food store. The first thing we're going to do to make our homemade corn dogs is take our hot dog and stick the skewer till it is about 2/3 to 3/4 of the way up in it, and you can see from where it's bending how far up it is. You just need enough on the end to hold on to. I'm going to go ahead and do that for each one of these. And this is a fun recipe if your kids want to help you cooking, that they can absolutely do to assist you. And pretty easy, except you might want to be the one putting the hot dogs in the oil, as you don't want the kids to burn themselves. Alrighty, we got that part down. Now, before we start making our batter, we need to go ahead and get our oil heated up. I am using a vegetable oil. You can also use a peanut or canola oil. I don't recommend an oil, olive oil or avocado oil or coconut oil. It just won't work as well. So we are going to get our oil pretty hot. About 450 degrees is what we're looking for in that, so that they cook very quickly. And you'll see when we put them in there, if it's a little too hot, they'll brown too fast, and we'll turn it down. So let's go ahead and make the batter. Corn dogs are simply a hot dog that's been dipped in a batter. All right, so for our batter, we are mixing together first our wet ingredients. And so I have 3/4 of a cup of buttermilk. Buttermilk is simply whole milk that has 1 tablespoon of white vinegar in it. And you can see it's curdled a little bit. I think you guys can see that. To this, we are going to whisk into this 1 egg. And so I am simply just going to give this a jiggle for a minute to get that egg all worked in. That's looking pretty good. Now we're going to add our other wet ingredients to this. We have a little bit of honey. Now, if you don't want your corn dogs sweet at all, you could eliminate this. But this is just going to add a little sweetness to the batter. And I had about a tablespoon of that. I also have just a shy of a tablespoon of olive oil that we're putting in it as well. And again, we're just going to stir that up. And there is our wet ingredients all combined. Now to our dry ingredients. I have a 1/2 cup of white cornmeal. And the cornmeal I'm using is, like I said, a really light. You do want a fine cornmeal. See how that's like a flour texture? You do not want to use a coarse grain. If you have a coarse grain, you can still use it. Put it in the blender, blend it up, and make it smoother. We are also have a 1/2 cup of white all-purpose flour. So together, we have 1 cup total to 3/4 of a cup. Now we're going to add the other ingredients to this. We have baking powder, a little bit of sugar, that's white sugar, and just a dash of salt. And let's go ahead and get that combined. All right, it's looking good. Now to this, go ahead and add the wet to the dry. Now, I would add it in stages because we're looking for a certain consistency to make it so that it sticks to the corn dogs. Well, the hot dog. And if it's too wet, it won't stick, or too dry. So you want like a really pretty thick pancake batter consistency when we're all done. So that's just a hair too dry still, so we are going to use probably all of it. Yeah. Now, if you had added all of your wet and then it was too wet, just add a little bit more cornmeal. All right, and we are ready to rock and roll. Now, the secret to making great corn dogs easy is the glass. All right, let me show you what I mean. So, go ahead and put your batter in the glass till it's just about an inch from the top. Then you're going to take your corn dog, dip it straight down in the center till it's covered. And then you are going to twist it as you pull it out. That'll prevent bubbles on your batter. And voila. Let's see if our oil is ready. All right, we got one in. Let's do another. So you can see the reason I told you to leave an inch. You want to make sure that it doesn't blow over the top as you're dipping it. Just be careful putting them in the oil that you don't get splashed. Like I said, that's probably the only part that the kids can't do. The rest of it they can absolutely do. All right, and we're gonna do 3 at a time in our pan based on the size of the pan. You don't want to overcrowd them. And you can see those are cooking up really nicely. I'm gonna go ahead and get some paper towels, line a plate to put them on so that they can rest a couple of minutes after they come out of the oil before we get to dig in. Now, I made my corn dogs in a wide open pan so that you could see them cooking. Normally, you'd want to use a little deeper and more, less round pan. You can even cook them straight up and down if you wanted to. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get our other 2 corn dogs done and in our oil. Our last 2 corn dogs will be ready in just a minute. It takes about 2 to 3 minutes at max each side to get your corn dogs done, especially if you have your oil at the right temperature. That'll make it so it's nice and brown on the outside. You do want about that coloring, and then we'll dig in. All right, look how amazing those corn dogs look. I'm gonna go ahead and let them cool off for just a minute or 2, and then we can dig in. Okay, so I get to dig into my corn dog now. Yummy, yummy. So corn dogs are served with lots of different things to dip in. Some people don't eat them in anything at all. I like mustard personally more than ketchup. I don't mind stone ground mustard or yellow mustard. Look how wonderful that is. Coated all the way around. Light and fluffy. These are a super easy dinner idea. Would make your kids or grown-up kids very happy to have for dinner. Thank you for watching. As always, What's Cooking with Rochelle. Bye for now.